Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Blessing in case you're new here. So in today's video we're making a wig. Guys, if you want to get that perfect size of frontal wig, you know the struggle with frontal wig, right? I'm here to make it very simple, a very simple DIY that you can do by yourself without any stress. So if this is something you might be interested in, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and let's get right into today's video. So to start off, you're going to need a tripod and then a canvas head. For canvas head, this is the kind of cork head I like, and I use the 22 inches because that's my head size. You're going to need needle. It can be curved needle or the straight needle, any one of your choice really. And then you're going to need a thread. Very important, you're going to need a T-pin to hold the wig in place, and then a scissors, clips to hold your hair in place, and then a hairband. We need a hairband. We have two different type of hairbands, so you can use either one to secure the hair, and then you need a wig comb. Also, this is my favorite cap to use. It's the spandex mesh cap. It's very breathable. I love it. And finally, we are using 30-inch deep wave coils for this tutorial. This is a 3 bundle. This is 300 gram, 30 inches, and then a frontal. This is the 13 by 6 frontal, and I'm using it in the length 22. So I've already pre-bleached this frontal. If you like to see a detailed video on how to bleach frontal, let me know in the comment section down below. And then to measure your head, you need a measuring tape. Usually you just measure from ear to ear to get your head measurement, and then you go onto the canvas head and do the remaining. But I'm here to share a very quick tip for you if you're doing this for yourself. Usually I use the measurement method when I'm wigging for a client, but if I'm doing it by myself, I don't need that. You just need a white marker, wear the cap on your head, and then mark the ear sides and then the middle. This is a very quick hack that I use to get that perfect head size, my perfect size on frontal wigs. That way I can wear them glueless. So once you're done with that, you're just going to put that on the canvas head, and just make sure you stretch the cap very well and place the middle on that line in the canvas head. You want to make sure you line it up with the middle part on the canvas head, and then stretch the cap very well so you don't have any bumps and all that. So once you're done with that, you take your frontal and then fold it to 2 equal halves. So once you fold it into 2 equal halves, you can now easily locate the middle. This is just a trick I like to use so that I'll get the perfect middle. I don't like guessing. I just like to use these metrics to get the middle. Then once you have achieved the middle, you put in the T-pin, and then you're going to put it on the cap. Now you don't want to place this directly on where the cap ends. You want to go an inch or 2 further from the cap. Please make sure you don't put it exactly where the cap ends. Put it 1 to 2 inch away from the cap. This is very important. So once you're done with that, you're going to turn to the back and then do the same thing with the back. You're just going to trace the middle part and then secure it at the back of the head. You can see why I like to use this canvas head is because it has that middle line. So this just helps you to locate where the middle is without any stress. So once you're done with that, you're going to trace the frontal down to where the ear mark is. This is a very visual thing. I'm trying to explain as much as I can, but it's more like when you look at it very well, you can see what I'm doing and you understand it better. So make sure it is very smooth as you're tracing it. Make sure it is flat, straight, and try to stretch it as much as you can. Make sure the back is very straight and smooth, and once you're able to locate the mark you made by the side, then you're just going to secure that exactly that place that you marked it. You secure that. Once you secure it, you're going to take another T-pin and secure in between the middle and the ears, just so that frontal doesn't move. So I'm going to go ahead and do this on the other side of the frontal also. Once I'm done with that, the way you know you got it perfectly is if the back is very smooth and then the front is in like M shape. The front is the place that won't be smooth, it will be rough, and that is fine. That's how you know that you got it perfectly. Don't even bother about it. This is the perfect frontal that you just laid. And then next, you're just going to get the frontal out of the way before we move to the next step. Next, I'm going to be using the curved needle. I like using curved needle for the frontal, and while I sew in the track, I use straight needle. That's just I'm just used to using straight needle and curved needle when doing my wig. Just use anyone that that you like best. And then I like to start from the middle. So once I secure the middle, I'll go ahead and remove the pin from the middle so it doesn't obstruct me. So I like to start from the middle and work my way to the sides. You can start anywhere you like. You can start from the side. Anywhere that is you're comfortable with is good. So I'm just going to go ahead and start sewing. So when I'm sewing, I'm just going to put the needle through and then make a loop and sew. This is just self-explanatory. You just have to watch closely as I do it. You put the needle through and then you create a loop. I'm trying to find the best way to explain this, but this is self-explanatory. Please watch what I'm doing very well so you understand it. Okay, so I'm going to do this a few times, and then once you're sewing this, you want to make sure you're close to the next sewing as much as you can. Don't give too much space. We're not trying to achieve a machine sew here. This is a handmade wig, but you need it to be close to each other, especially the frontal. When sewing down the frontal, you need it to be close to each other as close as possible. This way you can wear your wig for a very long time without having to re-wig, or maybe it starts loosening up. You start loosening up. You don't want that, so you want to sew it as close to each other as you can. So I've just fast forwarded it so we don't make this video too long, but this is self-explanatory. You're just going to once you get to anywhere there is pin, you want to remove the pin so it doesn't obstruct you while you continue sewing. This is pretty much repetitive, so it is very important when you're sewing the sides, you want to secure it as much as you can, like both sides of the frontal. You need to secure it very well. So I created like 2 loops there. I created like 2 I sewed it like 2 times there just to make sure it's very secured, and then I cut the thread, and that is it. Then I went ahead to sew the other part off camera, just the same thing I've done, and this is the final look. So this is what your frontal should look like once you're done sewing the frontal. Next, we're going to go ahead and start adding the bundles. So for the bundles, the first line at the back, I like to start with a double weft. So first of all, I will trace from ear to ear with a single weft. Once I get the particular measurement I want, I can then fold the bundle into 2 equal halves. So why I do this is because so I don't have to cut my weft. Most of the time I don't cut my weft. I do the turning method. So since the first line is going to be 2 bundles, I like to just measure it and then fold it into 2. That way I have one after sewing, I have one single part. How do I explain this now? I have the single weft to turn. Yeah, so you understand what I mean as we move forward. So when sewing, you want to make sure you secure the first sewing properly, and then please, this is very important, you need to sew as close as possible to the frontal, but do not sew on the frontal. Sew as close as you can to the frontal, but do not sew on the frontal. This is because I've done this in the past. I sewed on the frontal. It covers the tracks very well, but then you know frontals tend to thin out over the time. Once you start using them, they tend to thin out, and then you might want to change your frontal to another frontal. You might just want to change the frontal to something else, and then you have to redo the wig all over again. But if the weft is not sewn on the frontal, you can easily just remove the frontal, replace them without rewigging the whole hair, if that makes sense. So this is why it's important to sew as close as possible to the frontal, but do not sew on top of the frontal weft. Okay, yeah, so this is pretty much a repetitive process. I just kept on sewing round ear to ear the way I've measured it, and yeah. I went ahead to sew it around the ear, and then I'm just going to quickly show you guys how I do the turning method. For some people that don't understand how to do the turning method, instead of me cutting my weft, I prefer to turn it. And it's not everybody that knows how to turn very well, because it has the tendency of getting very bumpy when you turn it. Once I get to the close to the frontal, I just sew like 2 to 3 tracks, then I turn. This is a very self-explanatory process. I'm just going to allow you watch very closely and see what I am doing. So I'm just going to sew the last track there. You can see how close I am to the frontal, but I'm not sewing on top of the frontal. So once I secure that, I'm just going to turn the weft. So you can see that I'm not sewing on the frontal, I'm just sewing close to the frontal. So once I turn it, I'm just going to secure that first part like 2 times, and then go ahead and continue sewing the weft. Look at how flat that looks. Look at how seamless it looks. So if you're sewing and you turn and then it's looking very bumpy, then know that you're not getting it right. So it needs to be as flat as possible. You know the way you wear wig and then you kind of run your hair through your wig, and you don't want to start feeling any form of bumpiness. So when I'm putting on the track, another tip I have for you guys is for you not to, if you're a beginner, you have the tendency of bending your weft when you're doing it. So the best way is to just trace the line where you want to put it and then secure it with the T-pin. Once you secure it, it stays in place and you continue sewing without stress. Okay, so for me, most times I don't do that because I kind of just eyeball it and then go straight because I'm used to sewing it. But if you're a beginner, you want to do this method, so your wig will just stay, your weft will just stay on a straight line without bending. So as I got to the middle part, I started sewing in double weft again because I like the middle part to be full too. And then once you're sewing, you'll be getting like a C shape while you're sewing. Then towards the end of the sewing, I started doing it in single wefting. So the double wefting was just in between the back and the front part, so it's in the middle. So that way you have, because the frontal is big and you don't want to sew the double weft till you get to the end of the sewing. That way your wig might be bumpy at the top, so you want that side to be single wefting while you're sewing there. So by the time you put the frontal on it, it will just rhyme with the middle. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense. I hope you get it. I hope you get it. Okay, so it's pretty much repetitive. I just kept on sewing till I got to the last weft. And yes, I used the whole bundle for this hair. I used the 3 bundles for this hair and the frontal. I didn't cut it at all. I did not cut it at all. So it's okay if you don't get that perfect sewing. Maybe you got to the top and there are some remaining. You can easily just cut it and then look for somewhere in the middle where you feel needs more bundle, and then you add it there. It happens to me at times too. You will not always get that perfect, like just the way this one is. I got that perfect measurement and the weft ended where it's supposed to end without me cutting and joining. So at times also you might be sewing and your bundle will not be enough by the time you get to the top. What you need to do is look for the middle part where you feel that is too full, and then losing from there to complete the front. So it's just normal. There's no perfect wig. I'm just saying, just in case you make a mistake, don't even bother. And this wig thing is something that the more you do it, the more you get used to it. That's just the thing. The more you practice, the more you get used to it. So once I'm done sewing, I just try to secure the knot as much as I can so it doesn't unravel, and that is it for the sewing. This is what it looks like afterwards. And this I'm really loving the coils. The coils is giving coils. I'm a coils girl. I love coils a lot. And then the next, we're going to go ahead and cut off this extra part of the wig. We don't need it, so you want to cut it off. So when cutting it off, you need to be very careful. Don't cut too close to the thread. Do not cut too close to the thread. If not, everything you've just done will just go to waste. So do not cut close to the, it's okay to have those rough parts there. It's okay, it's just going to be inside, nobody is going to see it. So once I'm done with that, I'm just going to cut off these sides. Now this side bun, because of the measurements we did on my head earlier, you can see that the frontal is way bigger than my head. So I'm going to cut off this side because I don't need it. These sides now are not needed. But if you did not do the measurement properly, you probably not have these extras to cut off, and the frontal or the wig will now become too big for your head. So this part is just not for me. It's not just part of what I need. So I'm just going to cut that off and then do it on both sides. This is how you know you've done the perfect frontal wig. Yeah, once I was done with that, I just go ahead and put the wig back on the canvas head in a reverse method, because we're going to be attaching the elastic band. So for you to be able to wear this frontal wig, you need an elastic band. I'll be using this adjustable one for today. I like this one so much because you can easily just adjust it than the other one. I like to use the curved needle for this too, so I'll just start sewing and securing the band on the sides. So to do this, you can just use one of the T-pin to put it in place so it doesn't move around while you sew. So as you can see, I did not sew the band too close to the front part of the frontal because I need some side buns. Is it side bun they call it? I'm not sure. I just need those side hairs when I wear my wig. So that way, that's why most times when I wear wigs, even though it's glueless, it still looks as if I glued it on my head because of those extra side buns that I leave out when I'm sewing the headband. I hope this makes sense. Please, if you're confused about anything, leave it in the comment section down below. I will answer you. I will explain better, okay? Because I'm trying my best to explain what I'm doing here. So in case you don't understand anything and you have any question, leave it in the comment section. I will definitely reply any confusion that you have. So you're just going to take that band. Once I'm done with the other side, I just traced it to the other side and sew down exactly the same side, the same thing I did on the other side. That's what I just did on this side too. Yeah, it's pretty much self-explanatory. Like I said, if you have any question, leave it in the comment section down below. And if you have been watching this video to this point, that means you're really enjoying what I'm doing and you're really learning something. Please hit the subscribe button in case you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, and also hit the like button. This just helps me, this encourages me to know that you guys really like what I'm doing, okay? And yeah, like I said before, always leave your comments, your question in the comments. Next, we're going to attach the comb, the wig comb. I like to attach this wig comb to all my frontal wigs. It's very important because I use it to secure the back of the wig once I wear my wigs. I just use it to secure the back. This is very, very important. So, and yeah, and we're done, and that is it. In my next video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I styled and installed this hair. I'm going to be showing you guys a very quick and easy way to cut off the lace, how I styled the wig and everything, every single details. I'm going to be giving you guys in my next video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Give me a like I said earlier. Let me know in the comment section the next video you like to see, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.